Hey guys, what's up? So yeah, the easiest. I know nobody cares about the easiest JRPGs of all time, but I just had to make a counterpart to the previous video, which was the hardest JRPGs of all time, in my opinion. So I don't think you should underestimate this video. It's actually going to be pretty interesting because all of these games, no exceptions, are actually pretty good. So the fact that they're easy doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. Okay, some of these games are good and some others are even great JRPGs, actually very good, very addicting. So with that in mind, and as usual only North American releases, let's begin. Number 10, Magical Star Sign. Nobody ever said that games for kids could be easier than those for adults, but the fact is that Magical Star Sign was kind of aimed for them as a very good JRPG for beginners. So even if some games allegedly for kids are ironically hard, this game is actually perfect for them, not just for kids but also for everybody. It's a turn-based RPG full of color, cheesy story about some young students looking for their missing teacher throughout the entire universe. It's one of those games that exploits the elemental laws excellently and in a very fun way. It's not that easy, but a decent challenge for newcomers to the genre. Another thing to say is that it's a hidden gem. Many people overlook this great RPG, perhaps because it looked childish or generic, but trust me, it's not. It may not be one of the greatest JRPGs of all time, but it's pretty cool and I recommend it to pretty much anybody. Number 9. Tainted Arms. I know I've talked about this game a billion times before in my channel, and I also know that I've mentioned how easy it was. Sure, there were some challenging boss battles here and there, but about 90% of the game, of the main adventure at least, is a walk in the park. You don't even need to be good at strategy RPGs because its battle system is a mix between tactical and turn-based, with a press turn system similar to the Shin Megami Tensei games, but way easier. Tainted Arms is a hidden gem, in my opinion, and kind of underrated. Just for being easy and having a really generic story, people humiliated it with strong criticism. But I guarantee that if you give it a chance, perhaps it will be to your liking. Not as good as others, but decent enough. On a side note, in case you're interested, it was one of the first RPGs to be released for the PS3 and the Xbox 360. I'm not sure yet if it was the first though, but it wouldn't hurt to do some research. Number 8. Adventures to Go. This guy here is one of the most repetitive games I've ever played in my life. It's just so generic, way more than previous titles in this list, but in a bad sense. I mean, it's not actually a bad game at all, but you'll be better off playing anything else, and I'm serious. It's a quest-driven game with almost zero plot and dumb dialogues, but with a very addicting battle system. Yes, it's great because it's fast-paced, tactical, but at the same time very simple and easy to understand. You'll be grinding in this game just out of boredom, since that's technically all you do most of the time to complete a quest, considering most of them ask you for items that monsters drop. Also, the layouts of every single place you can explore are very lame, short, and once again, repetitive. I don't mean to be rude, but this game might be the definition of that word in the dictionary. I'm pretty sure its cover will appear right next to repetitive. In conclusion, not bad, not good, mediocre, boring, but it's very easy. Number 7. Atelier Meruru. I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced, since that is how the other characters pronounce it. Well, the Atelier games were never easy games to begin with, especially the PS2 trilogy, but then came the Arlan trilogy and opened up to pretty much anybody who wanted to approach the genre in a different fashion. Meruru is the third one in the trilogy, and it doesn't exactly play as a simulator, since it's also one of those quest-driven games, but it does include several aspects of socializing with the characters. But anyways, the point is that it is a very easy game depending on your approach to it. If you want to exploit all the quests and take the entire juice out of the game, then it might be actually hard, but a simple playthrough on the main story will prove my point. Its battle system is a really cool turn-based one that mainly derives in using combos, special attacks, and synthesized items. So yeah, it's very easy, but also very fun. I'd say these damn trilogies are my guilty pleasures without a doubt. They're such addicting games, to be honest. Number 6, Athlean Rorona. The first in the trilogy, however, is even easier. I'll say it's the easiest of the three. I haven't played the second one called Athlean Totori, so I couldn't say if it was easier or harder. But Rorona, man was it easy. You wouldn't believe me if I said that the difference in difficulty between Meruru and this one is astonishing. The only hard aspect I found about this game was that some quests were difficult to complete since they require going to faraway places or to make them within a short period of time. This game, much like Meruru, has its own calendar and you play it through 3 entire years in order to prove that your workshop is indispensable to the townspeople so that the king won't shut it down. I had a blast playing this game, it's so much fun, and I don't know if being easy helped in that regard, but the fact is that these two games are fantastic, and even if you're not into cheesy stories, simplistic turn-based battle systems, farming or synthesizing with alchemy, I think you'll still have a lot of fun. We've got the first turn. Number 5, Fantasy Life. I probably shouldn't be talking about this game since I only played it for a couple of hours before I fell asleep out of complete boredom. It's just one of those with extremely slow beginnings, you know. That doesn't mean it's bad. I think I need to get back to it again. I mean, I did for this video a couple of days ago and I discovered that it was just too damn easy. Seriously, this might be one of the easiest of all time, but I haven't finished it, so I better contain my comments. As you can see, it's a life simulator. You choose between a variety of jobs and start an entire life. Yes, you heard that right. Not just a few years, no, an entire life since you're a kid to a grown-up adult. Some jobs are more insightful and have you working most of the time inside towns, while some others are more oriented to battle. I'm guessing it's a pretty fun game. I was actually starting to have fun for once, but from what I've heard, if you just play through the main story, it's a complete piece of cake. Very easy, but also very fun and addicting. Number 4, Legend of Heroes 2, Prophecy of the Moonlight Witch. The Gagard trilogy of the Legend of Heroes comprises a very confusing chronological order between them. I made a video out of this in my best JRPG trilogies, so you might want to check it out for an explanation. The thing is, and very much surprisingly, the games are very easy with the exception of the other two. Those others can be pretty tough every once in a while, but Prophecy of the Moonlight Witch, I just couldn't believe how easy it was. It may not look like that at the beginning since you do receive more damage than you were expecting, but even so, the items, the healing spells and the weak enemies kind of make you wish this game was slightly hard. It's not a bad game at all, like any other in this list, but how come it was so damn easy from the beginning through the end, unlike the other two? Even the final boss is a walk in the park if you're slightly prepared. So if you're looking for a non-existent challenge, just for the change of pace, then this game might be a good idea for you. Number 3, Half Minute Hero. One of the most addicting and fun RPGs of all time, not to be taken seriously since the entire game is a total joke with tons of sarcasm towards RPGs in general. For those who don't know, it's a game that plays within a time limit which is, as the title implies, half a minute. Yes, 30 seconds. This goes around in actual real time as you go everywhere, including towns, fighting enemies, and completing microquests to help you in your adventure. If the timer runs out, it's game over. However, the gist here is that you can replenish the timer with the goddess statue within certain small towns for a price that goes up every time you want to replenish it again. So it requires strategy, timing, and that's it. No skill required whatsoever since your character does all the fighting for you, even against bosses. And while the game mechanics may sound complicated, trust me, they're not. At all. It is, in my opinion, an extremely easy game, very friendly when it comes to losing, that even the other mini-games including in the game have their own easy charm on them. Number 2, Giocondia, the Timeless Land. You know, Half Minute Hero is a huge mess of a game, in a good sense. Giocondia, also in a good sense, is even messier. It's crazy! But it is also probably the easiest JRPG in this list and could be on number 1 if not because it can get pretty repetitive, long and tedious at times. That is if you're playing hour after hour, mind you. But if you're just gonna drop your pace and play this game for a little while, it will be a really fun experience. Everything happens so fast in this game, with its platforming additions, arcade pointers, and also with its own timer, that you're just gonna be there playing for hours over and over again. Wait, did I just contradict myself? Well, Giocondia is an excellent adventure if you want to play something funny, also with tons of sarcasm and RPG references. With a group of students lost in this weird and bizarre universe, joining forces in parties of 3 to complete all these randomly generated landscapes. Number 1, Rhapsody, a musical adventure. So the easiest RPG of all time, winning by a landslide, is Rhapsody. It's a strategy RPG with some musical scenes every now and then, being considered as one of those RPGs for girls. Well, I don't believe in that, but to each their own. I think video games are for everybody, and Rhapsody, even though being extremely cheesy, easy, colorful and, well, girly, is no exception. So it's a strategy RPG that could be very well recommended for newcomers to that complicated subgenre, but I'm not sure I would personally recommend it for beginners since it's just too damn easy. The entire game, including the final battles, are a complete joke. The game's fun, cute and all, but it leaves a lot to be desired just because of that. However, and I've been mentioning this through the entire video, if you want to play something way out of your everyday challenging games, Rhapsody might actually meet your expectations. Just don't say I didn't warn you on how quirky and childish the entire game is. Okay guys, that's it. I know I didn't mention in the video, but Rhapsody actually has a remake for the Nintendo DS, very unknown, very rare, and it changed the battle system completely. It is now a turn-based system, and the story remains the same. I don't know if there were many other additions to the game. I think the graphics were improved or something like that, and I'm not sure if it's a better version of the game. I played both, but the only one that I have beaten is the PS1 version, which is actually really cool. But so if you play the Nintendo DS version and it is still as easy as the PS1, let me know in the comment section below, and also as usual, share your own top 10, what are the easiest JRPGs you've ever played in your life, and let's have a conversation like always about that topic. Don't forget that I always upload videos every Tuesday, Friday and Sundays, and that I also have a Patreon page so you can support me for as little as $1 so I can keep growing as a YouTuber and make these awesome videos for you guys. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. See you next time.